Thanks to the support as a channel member, Captain Fighting Peacock. You know what, Mrs. Wearmouth, all things considered, I think that was probably not a bad first season. And as long as we don't do anything spectacularly stupid over the course of the summer to put the club into real financial jeopardy, then I think we're probably going to be okay. Yeah, as long as we can find some players willing to sign for us. Can't imagine that's going to be an issue though, is it? Hello and welcome to part 6 of Holiday Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, it is our season review and transfer special at the end of our first season of the Save, which in the end, I think we all have to agree, was a pretty successful season. We start things off by looking at the signings from the previous year. I don't know why Ignacio Pearce is showing as a signing. I guess he signed for Benidorm in real life the summer before. But signing of the... Hold on! I always thought... I mean, how long have we had this screen? Like 3 or 4 versions of FM now. I always thought that the guy showing here was the signing of the season. But when you click on him, that changes. The one with the star is... He was the one who was selected anyway, wasn't he? So it kind of is what I thought. I think it's a little harsh that Floric has won signing of the season if Pearce counts as a signing, because he's the only one who's averaged over a 7. He's scored 12 goals. I think Pearce probably needs to be signing of the season, but maybe the game just wanted to award it to me. I think the important thing is on here, the signings have been very hit and miss. Romeo's done his best, bless him, as my director of football, but it's... There've been a few duds in there as well, a few old man centre-backs that haven't really worked out. But ultimately, we were supposed to finish bottom, and we've ended up finishing 8th. We did secure a top half finish. We've got plenty of room to grow in our stadium as well. An average home attendance of 670 is very good, actually. But it's only 7% of our attendance, so we're going to be at this stadium for a good few years. And the supporters are happy. Mrs. Wearmouth, I think, is happy, and we should be nicely poised to push on and challenge for promotion next year. We are still an obscure football club with no broadcast revenue, no competition prize money, minimal no money is the summary there. And weirdly, Koulibaly, the left back we brought in with 3 games to go, has sold more shirts than anybody, which is confusing. Fakal not even on there, who is our best player. Football Manager, you're a strange game. Doubly strange that the team of the year is playing a 4-4-2, even though the only time we were any good was with the 4-3-3. They've put Ocon in the central midfield as well of a 4-4-2, which never really worked. Kelly Huerta, who's now left the club, has made it in. I think that says a lot that only one player got above a 7 in our team of the year. And he, of course, did end up winning Player of the Year, Ignacio Pearce. Young Player of the Year was Ocon, but he's going to be leaving. We already know Floric is signing of the season. Fakal won Goal of the Year. We don't know which one for. There was so many. But yeah, he scored some absolute screamers. Pequez ended up as top scorer, but he won't be renewing his loan. Ocon got most assists, but will be leaving. Spotting a theme here, there is a big rebuild that needs to be done. And of course, because it's the first season, we've set all of the club records, so we don't need to worry too much about any of those. But end of the day, it was a good season. We performed above expectations. Now let's see if we can do it again. Mrs. Wearmouth is looking for us to finish top half, so that's where we've just finished. We obviously are looking for promotion. She wants us to play direct counter-attacking football. I say balls to that, and work within the wage budget, which I think we actually might be able to do. We just got our budgets through after the last match of the season, so our wage budget has gone up to 2.7k per week, but we've been given some transfer budget as well. So I think if we just stick all that down there, we almost balance what we're currently spending. And with the players that are leaving, we are actually going to end up with a little bit of gap in that wage budget that we could potentially use to go and bring in some players. But we'll just have the end of season team meeting where we'll just confirm we're going to finish top half, because the correct answer on there is always the one that you've agreed with the board. Anything else and the players get a grumpy on, and that is our team going into next season. But so many of them are leaving, it's kind of meaningless. Nandi, Ferris, Serrano, Cara, Quay, Ocon, all leaving from that 11. unless we tie a couple of them down that haven't yet signed pre-contracts elsewhere. But there's not many of them who fit into that criteria. If we have a look at our squad depth to get an idea of, oh my word, I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like it. We have no midfield for next season as it currently stands. That's new. I've not seen that before. Our defenders, we've got two. That's not the same man twice. We've got 28-year-old Ivan and 17-year-old Ivan as our two centre-backs. Ridiculously, we've tied down two left-backs on good money. Okay, Camino's only on £15 a week, but still, we're covered at left-back. We could probably use a goalkeeper upgrade, although there's obviously higher priorities than that. So Floric might be in for another year. We don't really have a right back. Ivan Naranjo, who's 17, can play there, but we definitely need to bring someone in who's first team quality. And then we realistically need to sign, 5 central midfielders to cover 3 spots, and then 3 wingers because we've only got Fakal and nothing on the other side. And then we probably need another striker as well, because I don't know that I want Vidal as my backup. But based on all the other priorities, people like Floric and Vidal are probably going to keep squad opportunities based on the fact that we're only going to have £800 a week spare. And as a minimum, we need, 2 centre-backs, 2 right-backs, 5 midfielders, 3 we need to sign 12 players. That's even without Floric and Vidal. What have we got down here? The youth players are the ones costing us all the money. Who have we got we can bring up? Oh. Okay. I need to go away and figure out a plan. I was thinking of maybe renewing a couple of contracts because we've got a whole bunch of players leaving. I mean, Quay in particular is someone I would have liked to have kept around, but I suspect we're not going to come close to being able to afford to. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one, boys and girls. Well, we've made it to the 1st of July, and this is all we've got left. Don't be confused by all of the greyed out Ivans. They're greyed out players. They don't count. Actual, legitimate footballers in our first team squad now, 12. And of them, I mean, you'd make a very strong argument that, if you can click on the right ones, Kev, these 5 in here are really not first team ready yet. Their current ability not even close to being first team ready. So we've effectively got 7 first team players. Fakal, one of the Ivans, no one knows which one. Ignacio Pearce, Florek, Koulibaly, Vidal, who won't be starting, but is now classed as a 3.5-star current ability player because of the state of the squad. And Camino, who again is the backup to Koulibaly. So we've got 7 first team players, but 2 of them are reserves. So we actually effectively have 5 players currently. They are the 5. That is our team as it stands on the 1st of July. And then we've got a couple of young backups. We've got some young players that we can bring up from the youth team. I think we obviously have to bring them up. We've got to fill the squad out as much as possible. So let's get a few more Ivans in. We did try our best to keep as many players as we could, but they just weren't having any of it. So, no, not staff. What am I looking for? Free transfers. So where is Quay? Why can't I find him? He definitely left. Released players. There we go. So Paul Quay is the one that stings the most because he was so good for us in the second half of last season. Wanted £375 a week. We just couldn't do it. We let another Ivan go. So there you go. That was an Ivan that's left. Ocon has left the club. Didn't even sign for anyone. Just left. Mark Ferris, who we brought in last season, we've had to let him go. Danny Carra, who was important for us second half of last season, we've had to let him go. Nandi has gone as well, who came in and started towards the end of the season. And the loan players have obviously gone back to parent clubs as well. And it is... oh, and the worrying thing is we've still got more than half of our wage budget allocated. We've got a budget of 3,100. We're committed to spend 1.8k of that on, I'll remind you again, 5 players who will actually start for us. So we've got to get at least the other 6 and then some backups for £1,000 and a bit a week. What we're going to do is what we normally do at this point and go and get some free transfers and get some trialists in and hope we can find some good ones. I won't make you sit through me doing all this clicking on camera. I will be back when hopefully we have some of these to bring in. I mean, this is looking promising age-wise. These are the profile of players I'm looking to bring in. There's one here called Ian. He probably is the guy for me. I'm not worried. It's going to... What do the media think at the moment about what's going on, I wonder? Oh, that's still the season just gone. It hasn't ticked over yet. Hopefully the next time you see me, we will have some new players at the club. Oh, boys and girls, this is going to be a tough one. It's the 9th of July now. I did bring a lot of players in on trial. You want proof? There's your proof. Look, we brought loads of players in on trial. They were all really good as well. They fell into 2 groups. The group that wanted like £500 a week and we couldn't even offer contracts to. And then the group that we did manage to offer like a £200 a week contract to, who then turned us down to sign for someone else on more money. 9 days into the transfer window being open, we signed precisely nobody. We've signed nobody. What we have done, cheesy shenanigans, we have converted our scouting budget into transfer budget and then into wage budget. So our wage budget is now 3,995. So we have got quite a lot of wage budget to play with now. So I guess we could maybe offer like £350 a week contracts now if we have to. But our first team squad is looking disastrous. 15th of July now. I am just getting more and more frustrated that everyone we try and sign is just going to sign for someone else. We've actually got money to throw at players now and they just don't want it. So I think I've kind of given up with bringing in trialists and offering them contracts now because it's just a waste of time. But Romeo has woken up. He's just made an offer for this guy. If he managed to pull this transfer off, then I might just trust Romeo to build me a squad. I mean, he's got to sign a lot of players because we don't really have any at all. But I've not been able to bring in anyone in yet. So maybe Romeo will have better luck than me. I'm going to give him a couple of weeks and then I might try again. This is not a drill, boys and girls. It's the 25th of July. We're finally signing a football person. I don't know if he's any good. I mean, he's very average, but he's a footballer. We have a footballer. Christian David is a Colombian 5'9" centre-back who can also play a bit on the right wing. He's formerly of Real Madrid, and I genuinely don't care about that. I don't care about all these ones. He is a footballer, and we have got him. We have got a footballer. Slightly less positive news. Ivan, the centre-back, is on his way out of the club. We agreed to let him go if somebody offered 4.5k for him. We've had an offer of 6,000. So as he leaves, we've basically brought in a replacement who's not near as good as he is. This is the squad. Let's get these boys who've gone out on loan out of the way. We have got a B team now, so that's news. They obviously don't have any players yet. But our first team squad contains 18 people. Let's have a look at the squad planner, shall we? Maybe things aren't as desperate as I thought. Oh, get rid of all the stupid shortlist ones. I hate it when it does. I'm not going to go through and remove all them individually. So that screen is worthless. This is more valuable. So realistically, it's everyone from Christian David upwards. So at the moment, we have got 2 centre-backs. But of course, one of them is about to leave. We've got 2 left-backs. We've still got 2 strikers, a goalkeeper, and Fakal. There's still a bit to do, isn't there? But we have signed a player. Well, I don't mean to brag, boys and girls, but we do now have a complete back 4. That's right, 4 defenders at the club. Christian David, you've already met. He's been joined by Pedro Caballero, who's 29 years old. He's 6'1". He can almost head a football. And most importantly, he is a human. we needed humans. And then we also have Chava, who's 22 years old, can play anywhere up the right-hand side, which is good because he might have to play 2 different positions at the same time for us. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. And look at that, he's done the right old tour. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And we have now lost 3 Ivans so far this summer, 2 on loan, and centre-back Ivan did leave with that deal that we were talking about before. He took a big pay rise as well. We were paying him like £5 a week. Now he's earning £450 a week. I can understand why he wanted to go, but this is what our wage budget is looking like. We've still got loads of capacity for new players, but importantly, like I say, we do now have a back 4. Romeo takes all the credit for all of this. I've not been able to bring anybody in, but Romeo every now and again is just making offers. He's systematically going through. He went centre back, right back. We've already got all the left backs that we need. So Romeo, I think it's pretty clear at this point, has a plan, and hopefully we'll now move forward to midfield. We've moved Alex Boxall up from the youth team, but he's only 15 years old with 1 star of current ability. We have no midfielders really, so I'm hoping the next thing we see Romeo do is bring in a defensive midfielder, 2 central midfielders, and just keep systematically working through the team. Come on, Romeo, you know what to do. Well, we kind of have a midfield. We've overpaid for it massively. We are getting close to using up our wage budget, and I don't think this team is nearly as good as last year's team yet. Jose Pina is the perfect example of that. He's costing £400 a week, costing more than any player we had last year, but he can play on the left wing, and we didn't have anyone at the club who could previously. 3 stars of current ability, 4-star potential. Yeah, he is a footballer. Ivan Romero, Spanish, 20-year-old central midfielder, can play in the holding midfield role, but really is in to be the box-to-box midfielder. He's not very good, but, and it can't emphasise enough how important this is, he is a professional footballer. So he's in as well. And then lastly, just got him over the line just now, Carlos Felipe is a 27-year-old Mazzala. We're getting the right roles. He's a 6'4" central midfielder, and you can't teach that. 3 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential. I'm so happy it's making me lose my voice. But we have, we have a midfield, and we've still got a little bit of money to spend. All credit for all of this goes to Romeo. I haven't signed. The only player, Pina, the one we overpaid for, that's the only one I signed. Every one of these has been Romeo. I have brought so many players in on trial. The Spanish lower leagues are a nightmare. We would be lost without having such a good director of football. We've got just over a week until the season starts, so I'm hoping he can still sneak us a couple more in. But we have a squad of 22 when you put Ivan down in the under-19s, 21 when you put him down there. So we've got a squad of 21. Now, half of them, you would say, probably aren't first team ready, but that means we've basically got a team now, which is more than I thought we were going to have, and there's still time for maybe 2, 3, 4 more players to get through the door before the season starts. That'd be lovely if we could. Well, we have managed to squeeze 1 more in before the season starts, so we've not managed to get him registered into the squad for the first day of the season, which we'll see in tomorrow's video. It's Gonzalo Carmona, can play on the wing on either side, so we'll offer some competition to both of the wide players. We've got Fakal and the new boy. So actually getting a little bit of strength in depth starting to appear as well. We're also going in for another central midfielder, Root, who will offer a little bit of cover, or probably be a starter in central midfield, actually, because this is what the team is looking like at the moment. We've got Koulibaly away on international duty. New boy Carmona isn't yet registered, so he will get into this team and be registered eventually. But this is what the current first team is. And we have actually managed to put together a first 11, sort of. We've had to sell Camino, the backup left back, because he got a grumpy on. I say sell, he's gone for free. But he got a grumpy on because he didn't want to be here. So Russ Eddy, one of the youngsters, is going to be starting at left back. He has got 5 stars of potential. So if we're going to develop youngsters, these are the kind of players that we want to be playing. So 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. And obviously Koulibaly will come back in over the top of him when he's not away on international duty. We've then got all of the other new boys at the back. Christian David, who's only 5'9", Caballero, who's actually almost a full-size defender, and then Chava, who we signed this summer as well. We've then got one of the other new boys, Ivan Romero, at the base of the midfield. Another one of our youth intake from last season, Alex Boxall, only 15 years old, but has been given the number 8 shirt. Another one with 5 stars of potential. He won't be a regular starter all season at 15 years old. Root will come in and take that spot, but he'll be first reserve as it currently stands, and he'll partner Carlos Felipe, who's just come in. And then we've got the other new boy, Pina, on the left-hand side, and Fakal, of course, from last year, one of the only survivors from last year, with Florek and Vidal up front, who will be competing for a starting spot with Ignacio Pierce. I firmly believe that squad is not as good as the squad that ended last season. The media think we're on for finishing 6th, which suggests everybody else has also struggled over the course of the summer, which is the one positive to take from it. We have still got money to spend, so the squad is going to improve before the transfer window shuts. We can actually register free transfers at any time as well. So at the moment, we're on a squad of 21 players, but I would say really it's a squad of 16 and some kids, although one of those kids is starting. So the one positive, look at all that potential we've got, and they're going to be forced to play. So it might not be a promotion season because of what's gone on over the course of this summer. The squad is definitely weaker now, but long term, it might be the best thing that could have happened because we've now set up and established a B team. So another route for players to develop. And we've got all of these youngsters who are going to get game time who wouldn't have done previously. So there are definitely some positives to pull out of it. And we just need to make sure we don't... What does Mrs. Wearmouth want? A top half finish. That is more of a challenge than avoiding finishing bottom. She's not going to be happy if we're third from bottom halfway through this time round like we were last year, is she? It'll be fine. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.